So Sarah,
Yes.
we were talking about our kids, we were talking about elders and old devices.
Yes.
So what risks are there when it comes to when you're finished with a device, what should you be doing with it next?
Well, for a lot of people, they keep their old devices. They don't trade them in. And when they keep them, they inherently pass them down to their kids. And when they do that, they need to factory reset them first. Because when they don't, everything that you had on that device carries over with your children. So now your children have your credit card information, they have your banking information, anything that you have on there. Also, any controls that you had on your phone, they have. So when you factory reset the device for your children, it takes all of that out. You can reset them in there that you have administrator control over the device, but the control that they have, they can't just go to whatever websites they want or, use your credit card information because that will be locked away from them. When you give your device to your children as well, when they set up any social media on there, it is very important, especially with something like Facebook, that you do not lie about your children's birth date when you set up the profile. And the reason for that is if your child is 8, they have to be 13 to get a Facebook profile. So you inherently say that your child is 5 years older than they are. But then in 5 years, when they turn 13, Facebook believes that they're 18. So all those parental controls are now gone and they can access anything they want on there. So
I'm sorry, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking like, oh my gosh, like I don't think I did that with my children, but I think about there's a lot of places and websites and
yes.
social media that has a minimum age, and you have to enter that in, right?
And the really difficult part of it is if it's an Apple product, because it is really hard to go back in and reset the correct birth date for your children. You actually have to go through Apple, and it is a nightmare to do. Absolute nightmare. So just be honest. And if you want your child, if you're okay with them going to somewhere that maybe they shouldn't, but you're okay with it, then you can allow them into there. But as a whole, you don't want the device to let them in. You want, as the parent, to have control of where they can and can't go.
So then when it comes to like moving out of devices and access to Facebook, access to these sorts of things, what is something that you would give as a recommendation for, other than the birth date, for safety, like when you're signing up?
So I like to recommend to people to not use their first and last name on their profiles, because people who know you will find you like that. They'll have no trouble finding you. When you set up your profile, make a cute little nickname or something that you share only with the people that you want on your Facebook profile. Your friends on your profile should be family that you don't see regularly, friends that you communicate with all the time but don't get to see regularly. You shouldn't have on your friends list, you should not have 732 friends, because there is no possible way that you communicate daily with 732 people. You don't need to have that many people. So keep your friend circle very slow and keep it to the people you know you can trust.
Well, that's some great advice, I think, to get started.
Yes, and keeping your personal information personal. Keep it private.
And so when you're saying personal information,
so
give me like a small list.
Don't put your birth date on there. If you want to have the day, feel free to put the day on there, June 30th, but don't put the year. They don't need to know what year you were born. That just makes you a bigger target, especially for predators. Don't put your address on there. Turn your locations off. People don't need to know where you are. When you're out and about doing things and taking pictures, post those pictures after you return home, not while you're out, because people don't need to know where you are if they don't know you.
And this goes again back to that whole social engineering thing.
Absolutely.
Of people building a profile and because are we not creatures of habit?
We are. We definitely are. And we have to hope that people will learn good habit, not bad habit. And if you keep those good habits, it's an inconvenience at first. It's like back in I think it was the late 70s when the seatbelt rule came in and it was mandatory to wear a seatbelt. and everybody grumbled, I have to put my seatbelt on. I hate putting my seatbelt on. But after the first year, you didn't even realize you were putting it on anymore. It just becomes a good habit. And that's what we want to teach people is start these good habits, and eventually they just become every day. It just makes it safer, easier, and you'll be doing it before you even know it.